Worst Super Bowl hangovers. What's the worst Super Bowl hangover in NFL history? 5 wins and 12 losses, missing the playoffs completely, going from champions to last place in 1 year. These weren't just bad seasons, these were catastrophic collapses by defending champions. Here's the truth. These 10 teams won the Super Bowl and celebrated championships, but the next season became a nightmare of injuries, retirements, and failures. This isn't just a ranking. This is the definitive list of the worst Super Bowl hangovers in NFL history. Number 10. The 1970 Kansas City Chiefs went 7-5-2 after winning Super Bowl IV the previous season. The Chiefs defeated the Minnesota Vikings 23-7 in Super Bowl IV, completing the AFL's final championship before the merger. Len Dawson won Super Bowl MVP with a masterful performance. In 1970, Kansas City struggled to replicate that success. They tied 2 games and lost 5, finishing second in the AFC West behind the Oakland Raiders. The Chiefs became the first team to experience a significant Super Bowl hangover. Their inability to maintain championship form set a precedent for future defending champions. Kansas City missed the playoffs despite having most of its championship roster intact. The hangover was real from the very beginning of Super Bowl history. At number 9, the 1988 Washington Redskins went 7-9 after winning Super Bowl XXII over the Denver Broncos 42-10. Doug Williams became the first black starting quarterback to win a Super Bowl with his dominant performance. Washington's offense scored 35 second quarter points in one of the greatest quarters ever. In 1988, Williams struggled with injuries while third-year quarterback Mark Rippon developed. Washington's defense allowed over 24 points per game, a dramatic decline from the previous season. The Redskins entered a Monday Night Football matchup with San Francisco at 6-5, but their season fell apart down the stretch. They lost 4 of their final 5 games to finish 7-9. Washington missed the playoffs for the first time in 3 years. The championship magic from 1987 completely disappeared. Number 8, the 1980 Oakland Raiders went 7-9 after becoming the first wildcard team to win a Super Bowl. Oakland defeated Philadelphia 27-10 in Super Bowl XV behind Jim Plunkett's MVP performance. The Raiders' defense dominated with 3 interceptions of Ron Jaworski. In 1980, Oakland set an embarrassing record by being shut out 3 consecutive times. They finished dead last in turnover differential at -16. The Raiders still had a chance at a winning season when they entered Week 15 at 7-7. Unfortunately, they dropped their last 2 games to finish 7-9. This was Oakland's only losing season between 1965 and 1986, a 22-year span of dominance. The hangover was brief, but devastating for a proud franchise. At number 7, the 1991 New York Giants went 8-8 after winning Super Bowl XXV in a classic against Buffalo. The Giants defeated the Bills 20-19 on Scott Norwood's missed field goal. New York's ball control offense dominated time of possession, with Otis Anderson winning Super Bowl MVP. In 1991, the Giants became the first defending Super Bowl champion to lose their first 5 games. Division in the locker room led to on-field struggles. Star players like Lawrence Taylor could never find their groove, and the team couldn't overcome the terrible start. The Giants were out of playoff contention by December. New York missed the playoffs after winning the championship. The hangover was as bad as any in NFL history to that point. Coming in at number 6, the 1982 San Francisco 49ers went 3-6 in a strike-shortened season after winning Super Bowl XVI. San Francisco defeated Cincinnati 26-21 in Super Bowl XVI, with Joe Montana earning his first championship. The 49ers looked poised to dominate the 1980s. In 1982, the 49ers lost their first 2 games before the NFL players went on strike. 7 games were canceled, and the season didn't resume until November. After returning, San Francisco went 3-4 and missed the expanded 16-team playoff. The 49ers had the NFL's worst running game and a mediocre defense. This was the only season between 1981 and 1998 where the 49ers didn't win at least 10 games. The strike-shortened year disrupted their dynasty momentum. At number 5, the 1996 Dallas Cowboys went 10-6 after winning Super Bowl XXX over Pittsburgh 27-17. Dallas won their 3rd championship in 4 years with Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin leading the offense. The Cowboys looked unstoppable. In 1996, the Cowboys started 8-4, but lost 3 of their final 4 games to finish 10-6. They entered the playoffs as a wild card despite being defending champions. Carolina upset Dallas 26-17 in their divisional round, ending their championship reign. The Cowboys were never the same after that loss. Dallas hasn't reached an NFC championship game since 1995. The 1996 Hangover marked the end of their dynasty. Number 4, the 2003 Tampa Bay Buccaneers went 7-9 after winning Super Bowl 37 over Oakland 48-21. Tampa Bay's defense dominated with 5 interceptions of Rich Gannon. Dexter Jackson won Super Bowl MVP with 2 interceptions as the Bucs crushed the Raiders. In 2003, Tampa Bay's offense failed to develop. The Buccaneers had 2 overtime losses in the first 5 weeks and 3 other losses by 3 points or less. Tampa Bay failed to reach 20 points in 11 of 16 games. The defense that carried them to the championship couldn't compensate for offensive futility. The Bucs finished 7-9 and missed the playoffs. The locker room became divided as the offense continued struggling throughout the season. In at number 3, the 1999 Denver Broncos went 6-10 after winning back-to-back Super Bowls with John Elway. Denver defeated Atlanta 34-19 in Super Bowl 33 as Elway retired on top. The Broncos lost their Hall of Fame quarterback and had to rebuild immediately. Denver started rookie Brian Griese at quarterback in 1999. The team began 0-4 and never recovered from the terrible start. Things improved slightly in the second half when Denver finished 4-4 over the final 8 games, but the damage was done. The Broncos finished 6-10 and last in the AFC West. Losing Elway created a massive void that couldn't be filled in one offseason. At number 2, the 1987 New York Giants went 6-9 after winning Super Bowl 21 over Denver 39-20. Phil Simms threw for 268 yards and 3 touchdowns to win Super Bowl MVP. The Giants dominated the Broncos with a balanced attack. In 1987, another player's strike disrupted the season. 3 games were played with replacement players, and the Giants never found their rhythm. New York lost their first 5 games, including games with replacement players. Lawrence Taylor crossed the picket line, but the team couldn't overcome the terrible start. The Giants finished 6-9 and missed the playoffs entirely. The defending champions became one of the worst teams in the NFL in just 1 year. And finally, at number 1, the 2022 Los Angeles Rams, the worst Super Bowl hangover in NFL history with a 5-12 record. The Rams defeated Cincinnati 23-20 in Super Bowl 56 at their home stadium. Cooper Kupp won Super Bowl MVP with 8 catches for 92 yards and 2 touchdowns. In 2022, everything fell apart. Matthew Stafford suffered a season-ending injury. Cooper Kupp went down with an ankle injury. Aaron Donald contemplated retirement before returning. The Rams lost both Stafford and Kupp for extended periods. Without their quarterback and best receiver, Los Angeles had no chance to compete. Los Angeles finished 5-12, the worst record by a defending Super Bowl champion in NFL history. They went from champions to one of the worst teams in 1 year. The Rams' all-in strategy of trading draft picks for stars left them with no depth. When injuries hit, they had nobody to replace key players. Los Angeles had traded away their first-round picks to acquire Stafford, Jalen Ramsey, and other stars. The lack of young talent devastated them during the injury-plagued season. This is the worst Super Bowl hangover ever. Going 5-12 as defending champions is unprecedented and may never be matched. The Rams proved that mortgaging the future for a championship comes with consequences. Their collapse serves as a warning to other teams considering similar strategies. These 10 Super Bowl hangovers represent the worst follow-up seasons by champions. From the Rams' 5-12 disaster to the Giants' strike-shortened collapse, these teams failed to defend their titles. The Rams stand alone as the worst with their 5-12 record. Injuries to Stafford and Kupp destroyed their season, but the lack of depth made it impossible to recover. The Broncos losing John Elway and the Giants dealing with strikes show that external factors can destroy championship momentum. Every team on this list learned that winning a Super Bowl doesn't guarantee future success. Injuries, retirements, and bad luck can destroy a defending champion. Thanks for watching this journey through Super Bowl hangovers. Hit subscribe for more NFL content. And remember, defending a championship is harder than winning one. These 10 teams proved that painfully.